Before we get too deep into working with the live program, I wanted to give you a quick overview of the Ableton Live interface. All of the elements that we'll be covering in this movie will be covered in detail either in their own movies or as they become used throughout this course. But for right now, here's a quick overview of what you'll be working with in Ableton Live 7. There are two views to the Ableton Live interface. The session view, which we'll be using mostly throughout this course, and the arrangement view, accessed by clicking the arrangement view selector button up here on the top right. We'll also be using the arrangement view, but mostly that will be happening later on in the course as we work with arrangements and exporting our finished songs. Going back to the session view, over here on the left we have the live browser, and as you can see, you can resize the browser by clicking right here in between the browser and your tracks. The browser contains 4 separate views: the Live Devices browser, the Plugin Devices, the File browser, and the Hot Swap browser. And we'll be looking at all of these in detail in the movie on the live browser that's coming up shortly. Down here on the bottom left is a very important feature of the live interface, and this is the Info view. The Info view tells you a little bit of information about anything that you're moving your mouse over. This is very handy for getting to know the Ableton Live interface. And as you can see, I've got the play button that I'm mousing over, the stop button, the track title bar, a clip slot. All of these elements can be described in the Info view. So that's a great way to learn more about Live as you're working with the program. You can show and hide the Info view by clicking this button here, just as you can show and hide the browser. And you can also show and hide the Info view and what's called the Clip view down here. We'll get to the Clip view in a moment. Up here are the live toolbars, and those will be covered in their own movie. And here we have our audio tracks, a MIDI track, and the master track. You can show and hide various elements of live tracks by clicking these Show Hide buttons down here. And you can show and hide the sends and also the return tracks here. And we'll be looking at sends and returns when we start talking about Live's effects. Now, as I mentioned, down here we have what's called the Clip view. And right now I've just quickly created a MIDI clip. And the Clip view contains information about the MIDI clip, including the MIDI notes and some editing functionality and lots of other features. We'll be looking at all of these in detail throughout this course. I'm going to add an audio loop to an audio track here and show you the Clip view for an audio track, which is a little bit different. Instead of MIDI notes, I've actually got the sound file visible down here, and I've got some similar and some different editing functionality available over here. Well, those are the basic elements that make up the live interface, and as I said, we'll be looking at all of these in more detail throughout this course.